In the last months of 2021, a vehicle known as the James Webb Space Telescope was launched into space by NASA. With the new technologies it carries, this vehicle allows us to look at the universe in more detail and from different perspectives. What especially distinguishes this telescope from the others is its ability to make infrared observations. Thanks to this unique ability, we were able to examine galaxies located far away from us and the atmospheres of exoplanets. In addition, this telescope has made many new discoveries and has provided us with a lot of information. So friends, today we will talk about the discoveries made by this telescope and one of its most important recent discoveries, the newly discovered moon of Uranus. Before moving on to our video, don't forget to subscribe, like our videos, and comment with new documentary ideas to support us and help our channel grow faster. Now, let's dive into the details of the James Webb Space Telescope together. First of all, as we mentioned earlier, the James Webb Space Telescope, with its magnificent infrared eyes, allowed us to look at the universe as it was approximately 13.5 billion years ago. Through these observations, scientists have gained a great deal of knowledge about the functioning of the universe, the formation of new planets, and the birth of new stars. And even today, based on these observations, brand new information and experiences continue to emerge. In particular, some observations have greatly surprised scientists because the results showed that galaxies were growing much faster than we expected or had predicted. Because of this, the standard cosmology model has to be reconsidered and studied in greater detail. For example, through the CEERS and JEADES observations, we were able to detect galaxies from the first 300 to 400 million years of the universe. In addition, thanks to this telescope, we also had the opportunity to study in detail the atmospheres of exoplanets, which are planets outside of our solar system. The method used in these observations is called transit spectroscopy. In discoveries made so far, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and sulfur compounds have been found in the atmosphere of a gas giant called WASP-39b. These compounds help us understand how the planet's atmosphere formed and evolved. Later on, gases such as methane and carbon dioxide combinations, which may indicate biological processes, have been investigated on some rocky planets. Although no definitive evidence of life has been found yet, thanks to this telescope, reaching this type of research has become much easier than before. As an additional piece of information, as we mentioned in our previous videos, on Mars and two of the moons in our solar system, we have found very serious and highly probable findings showing biological processes, or in other words, signs of life. Anyway, as you know, in space there are many structures such as the Orion Nebula, the Eagle Nebula, and the Carina Nebula, which we can describe as star factories. With infrared vision, we were able to capture very clear images of these nebulae, which we had never or hardly been able to capture before. In this way, we discovered hidden regions that were previously concealed by gas and dust. From these discoveries, we gained much more serious information about how stars are formed, under what conditions planetary systems emerge, and what the inner structures of disks look like. Friends, these discoveries may seem meaningless or insignificant to many people, but I must tell you that these discoveries are so important that perhaps they are among the most important discoveries since humankind began to study the universe. Another important piece of information this telescope provided us is about galaxies, black holes, and the connections between the two. As we know and predict, most galaxies have a supermassive black hole at their centers. Because everything in a galaxy revolves around something, and when you look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that an entire galaxy itself revolves around something. Based on the discoveries we made and the predictions of scientists, that something can only be a supermassive black hole. Thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope, we were able to observe how these supermassive black holes in the centers of galaxies grew in the early universe. Based on these observations, we understood that the black holes of some galaxies far away from us had reached enormous masses much earlier than expected. Of course, many questions and ideas were raised after this, but the most important question was, did black holes grow first, or did galaxies? This question is still on the agenda of many scientists. However, what most people are more curious about is whether this telescope will find life. The telescope is also helping us in this regard by mapping the chemical fingerprints of distant galaxies and star systems. Who knows? Maybe in the near future, thanks to this telescope, we will discover a new form of life, even microscopic, in a distant galaxy. Now let's get to the discovery made recently about Uranus. Through observations made with the James Webb Space Telescope, we discovered a new moon of Uranus. This moon was provisionally named S/2025U1. This discovery was made thanks to the near-infrared cameras we mentioned earlier, which are of great importance. According to NASA's official statements, the date of this discovery was recorded as February 2, 2025. The observations were made in 10 long exposures of 40 minutes each, meaning a total of 400 minutes of observation was used. The moon was included in the images along with Uranus' other small inner moons, and the images were processed at different brightness levels to make the planet, rings, and moons all visible in the same frame. According to the explanations made about the moon, as we mentioned at the beginning, no official name has yet been given. Only the provisional name S/2025U1 was assigned. And in the coming days, the International Astronomical Union will define an official name for this moon. After this newly discovered moon, Uranus is now known to have 29 moons. Perhaps we will continue to discover new moons. According to initial observations, the moon's diameter is estimated to be between 8 and 10 kilometers. Its surface is dark, and its brightness is quite low. Therefore, it is a very faint moon. Most likely, this is the biggest reason why it has not been discovered for so many years. We also do not yet have clear information about the surface reflectivity, but based on observations of similar inner moons and comparisons, several estimates have been made, and as a result of these estimates, the value is thought to be around 0.05 to 0.10. The distance of this small moon from the center of Uranus is approximately 56,000 kilometers, but some sources have shared it as 56,300 kilometers. Another source stated that the moon's orbit falls somewhere between the orbits of the moons Ophelia and Bianca. However, friends, since this discovery is relatively new and precise information has not yet been received, any comments made about the moon's orbit or features will not fully reflect the truth. As you can see, much of what we say here is based on assumptions, and when we give numerical values, we always have to say approximately or within a range. Therefore, there may also be some values or information where we are mistaken. So if you know the correct information and are certain of it, please share it in the comments to inform both us and our viewers. Anyway, the moon's orbit is almost circular and quite close to the planet's equatorial plane. The estimated orbital period is about 9.65 hours, or 0.402 days. This moon is classified as part of the inner moon system and belongs to the group of small moons located inside Uranus's large outer moons, namely Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. After this discovery, many people also asked scientists questions about Uranus and about space probes sent long before the James Webb Space Telescope. For example, why couldn't observatories like Voyager 2 or Hubble detect or see this object? According to scientists' explanations, the object is extremely small and very faint. In addition, it may also be located in the blurry transition regions between Uranus's inner moons and rings. Because of this, it could not be discovered with previous instruments. Here again, we have seen how capable the James Webb Space Telescope actually is, and how important a role it will play in new discoveries in the coming days. So friends, this is the journey of the James Webb Space Telescope. In fact, it is a tool with many more very important discoveries that we have not mentioned. But with these new discoveries, we realized that there are still many things we have overlooked, both in our own solar system and in distant galaxies. Maybe 10 to 15 years from now, thanks to this telescope, we will discover a new planet or a new form of life. And once again, we will be here making a documentary or news about it for you. That's all from me for today, dear friends. Now I'm going to find a new and exciting topic for you and make a new video about it. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, like our videos, and leave comments to help our channel grow. See you in our next video. Goodbye.